Today I'm going to be talking about a relatively new game that came out last year called Conquer the Cross. So if you haven't seen this game yet, you're in the right place. I'm going to talk about the rules about the game, how you play it. I'm also going to be talking about some real-world strategy when you're playing it. And I'm also going to be hitting on why I really like this game and why it can help us in our fundamentals. Let's do it. So I was on Facebook not too long ago and I happened across this game, Conquer the Cross. So I clicked on the post and I learned about the game and I've tried it out for myself. And I gotta tell you, I really like this game. I think this game has a lot of potential and we're gonna be going into that in this video. One unfortunate thing is, I live in Canada and they don't ship the rack, which is a proprietary rack to make this cross. It's on the website, it goes for $35 and it ships for free in America. But I live in Canada and I can't get my hands on it. And I wanted to make the video, so I had a little bit of time and I did this thing up. I don't have a friend who has a 3D printer that could have done up a rack for me. And by no means am I suggesting that you do this. If you're in the United States, if you live there, it's free shipping, it's $35, and I'd love to support these guys that made this game because I really like this game and you're gonna find out why. So let's head to the table and let's discuss how you play this game. Okay, let's go over the rules and the setup for Conquer the Cross. Obviously what you see is the initial setup for Conquer the Cross. If we fail at Conquer the Cross, it gets reset and it gets put back exactly like this. Numbers on balls don't matter. These get pocketed in any order, so that doesn't matter. But let me explain further. Stage one. Stage one, you as the shooter get to choose wherever you on the table you want to start. So if you choose to start here, that's your first shot. Now remember, stage one is we have to take care of all the ducks before we touch the cross. Not only that, we cannot touch that cross. So if we shoot one of these balls and we so much as just touch it, game over. We cannot jump the cross to get a duck. Game over. We're not allowed to do that. We're allowed to kick around it or we're allowed to shoot by it. Okay, remember that. Here's the twist. And here is the thing that makes things really interesting is you're going to be playing an opponent. In stage one, when we're dealing with the ducks, your opponent chooses your next shot all through stage one. So you may shoot this 10 ball. You may leave your cue ball in a certain position. If you've hooked yourself on the 13 ball, let's say the ball way over here, he's probably going to say shoot the 13 ball. And if you can't pocket the 13 ball without touching the cross or jumping over the cross, you've lost and it gets reset. And then it is his turn. So that is the tricky part, and we're going to be going into strategies on that. Stage two, once you have taken care of all the ducks, you have to leave yourself in an advantageous position to break open the cross. So if you shoot into the cross from this side, obviously you want to make it so that the 9 ball is going to be going into that side pocket. Once the cross is broken open, you can shoot any of those balls in any order. And if you run the table, you conquer the cross. If you miss a shot at any point, you stop, you reset. And that is the end of your turn on Conquer the Cross. And that basically is the game. So let's go over some of the strategy that I have found when I've been playing this game by myself. Opening shot. What opening shot do you think that you would take, right? Do you think that you would be taking maybe a side ball first, or would you be taking a corner ball? Well, let's take a look at the table and let's take a look at our sight lines here. Where are the two positions on the table that are going to give you the most adequate of sight lines off of the opening of Conquer the Cross? Take a look at the table. Obviously, anything over here, for example, let's take the side pocket here. Let's pocket this duck right here. and we leave our cue ball on this side of the table, we've got sight lines to those corner pockets, but we've hooked ourselves on the 1. Is it advantageous for you to be kicking already on your second shot? Because you know your opponent's going to be choosing the 1. We can't jump over. So that's not a good sight line. You get my point? I'm going to go ahead and just tell you that after playing the game, I found that the 2 positions that are the best, and this is why I've put the magic rack here to give you guys kind of a visual representation on where is best. For me, the best spots are, if you can imagine an 8-ball rack, right behind this 8-ball rack. So if I shoot this ball first, which is the ball that I usually shoot first, I pick the corner and I end up as close to behind the 8-ball rack as I can. And now I have sight lines to every single ball. Same thing over there. If you start on this side, right? You want to be ending up where you have sight lines to all your balls. Now your opponent takes over and they pick the hardest shot. A lot of times, for example, if I end up here after my first, my opponent is going to choose that corner or that corner, right? Because those are the furthest and hardest to control. Now let's go over some strategy. For example, I shoot this 10-ball down. And let's say it's a really good one, and I end up exactly where I want. Now, my opponent says, okay, shoot the 4-ball down in that corner. One of the strategies you need to remember is that you don't have to worry about this corner anymore. You've taken care of it. So if you hook yourself behind the cross on this corner, you're good. You're golden. It doesn't matter because it's gone. So what area of the table is a good area of the table to leave yourself? Well, here is a good area of the table because I've got sight lines to every single, well, actually I'm going to shoot this ball next, right? So I don't even have to worry about that one. But I have to have sight lines to all my balls, which I get that. But you have to be aware that you have to stay on this side of the table. So for example, if you come up short on your first shot, just by a little, the cross is already coming into play because now you're having to shoot off of a rail. And as we know, when you come off a rail like that, it's hard to keep the cue ball where we want to be. What we were just talking about is we want to be on this side. But if we come off a rail, it's hard to keep the cue ball. We probably end up over here. And lo and behold, we're hooked on the 7-ball down there. And you know that your opponent is going to do the right thing and make you shoot the 7-ball next. And then what do you got to do? Then maybe you have to do some funky stuff like kicking, and already the cross. The cross comes into play. And it's actually really amazing how many times it can get away from you. No matter how strong you are at precisional play, you're playing shape to an area. And that's really important. Okay, let's do a real world example. Let's play this game. So I'm going to be playing against myself. So I'm going to pretend I'm my opponent and I'm going to choose the shots that are the hardest. So this is where I like to start. I like to start here, and I'm going to bring it back to the center of the table. Not bad, not bad at all. I've maximized my sight lines. I've got a clear shot to the 7. The 12 ball on the cross is starting to come into play just a little bit. So I'm going to make myself shoot the 4 ball next. So what do I have to remember? I don't need to worry about this anymore, right? So I need to maximize sight lines. I want to keep it here on this side here. Over here doesn't do me any good because look, I have this 10 ball down here, right? So I'm forced because I didn't go far enough. I'm actually forced to go off the rail here, which is not ideal. I would rather not do that. Come into the ball full and use the end rail. So I'm going to have to hit this one soft. Okay, let's take a look at my sight lines. I see all my balls. Now, I'm gonna make myself shoot the 10 ball. So as the shooter, I have to remember that I don't need to worry about this anymore. So I don't want to hook myself on the 7. So I am going to probably, I'm thinking my best course of action is to come into it full, not off the rail, come into it full and end up in this area. Trying to be cognizant not to hook myself behind the cross, but also not come so far that I have to do something silly like jump over my 11. Let's give it a shot. I am going to top right. Oh, look what I did. Came into it too full, and now I am hooked on the cross. I can't jump over this. I have to kick at it. My opponent's definitely picking the 7, so I'm going to be doing a masse, hoping that I can control this. Lucky. So again, my opponent is going to be picking one of these shots. Doesn't really matter. Let's just say he picks the 1 ball. So I have to leave myself now in a position. I have to be cognizant that my last ball, I have to get shape on the cross to break it out here. So again, come to the center of the table, I think is the best way. Oh, don't touch it! I went way too far. And look what happened. I failed. I didn't conquer the cross. I failed. That was horrible. But let's take a look at what I did. I sunk 5 balls. Let's look at the point system and actually gambling at this game, because this is one of the things about this game that I really like. I think this will be an excellent gambling game. Let's take a look. So all the balls that are the ducks in stage 1, those are worth 1 point. 8 of the 9 balls in the cross are worth 2. And the last ball sunk is worth 3 for a total of 25 points. So what's stopping 2 people from playing this game, say race to 125 points, right? Something along those lines. And you just keep a score and you race. If you're not getting off of stage 1, you're leaving a lot of points on the table. I mean, look, I only got 5 points. 5 out of a possible 25 points on this game because I went and I touched the cross, right? I left a lot of points on the table. I think this game would be a lot of fun gambling at it. If you're a big gambler and you get your hands on the rack from the people that made this game, go to a pool hall and gamble at this game. I think could be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Feelings are getting hurt here, so I'm gonna try this again. Hardest shot of the game right here is the opening shot. Too hard. I messed up already. Now I'm forced to do a masse. Lucky, 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 lucky. Four ball. Try to stay on that side of the table, kill it with my inside. That was good. I'm gonna say 13. I'm gonna go off the rail. That's gonna help me to get to the center. A little bit more. Okay, now my last shot. I gotta make sure I get good shape on the, probably right here. So it's just a little bit of a bottom. Perfect. Okay, Now I'm breaking out my cross. Make sure if it's tight, I don't have the rack. That's gonna work. I don't know about that shot. So, in conclusion, what do I think about this game? I think this game is pretty awesome. I really do. I'm not overestimating this. It's something new. A couple people went out and they thought of a new idea, and it's just something new, and it's fun. And it brings into question some really important things about playing the game of pool. One of them being one of my favorite topics, and that is ducks. I don't know how many times I've seen it, or it's even happened to me, where I underestimate the danger of a duck, getting shape after a duck. People underestimate. They say, okay, well, that's right over a hole. It's an easy shot. But sometimes getting shape off of something that's over a hole is easier said than done. That's the important thing, right? Is we're always thinking ahead, and getting shape off of something over a hole, sometimes it would have been just easier if it would have been out and we could have shot something in and come off one rail shape, or even follow through in two rail shape, because we can control the pace of the cue ball. Sometimes, a lot of times, when you're dealing with a duck, controlling the pace of the cue ball for shape can be a tricky situation. And that's what people always, they underestimate. So that's what I really like about this game. Also, I think that the possibilities of this game when it comes to gambling are off the charts. I talked to you about the point system, and that's a good way of doing it. Races. What if you played race to 125, $10 a ball? So let's say someone gets to 125 and the other person got to 32. You know, they got smoked. You know, okay, 125 minus 32 times 10. How much money do you owe? This could get dangerous. Could get dangerous. Look, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, share. You guys know the deal. Until the next time, and in between time, stay safe.